Last night, the president gave a speech that was something.
And our country is back, stronger than ever before.
He seemed to think that if he yelled the speech, maybe it would be more credible, maybe the lies would seem more true. Kind of reminded me of this scene from Anchorman 2.
Korean soldiers were fired upon in the DMZ!
Oh, I am so sorry. Someone put the story in all capital letters, and I thought I was supposed to yell it.
Now, we watched the speech, so you don't have to, and I'm going to break down the 18 lies in 18 minutes. But why give the speech at all? What was the point of interrupting national broadcasting for this address? I suspect it was this. His team understands that the country is really souring on his economic policies, that tariffs are really making the cost of living so difficult for Americans that he seems oblivious, that when he gives rallies like he did in Pennsylvania a few days ago, where he's supposed to talk about affordability and stay on the script, he does anything but stay on the script. Instead, he calls it a hoax and a Democratic con job and all the rest of that.
They use the word affordability, and that's their only word. They say affordability, and everyone says, oh, that must mean Trump has high prices. No, our prices are coming down.
And the White House probably figured if we do an Oval Office address, he will have to read the teleprompter. But, you know, it didn't work out so well. In fact, it worked out a bit like this scene from Bruce Almighty.
In other news, the Prime Minister of Sweden visited Washington today, and my tiny little nipples went to France.
What did he just say?
Check the prompter.
The prompter's fine. Evan, read the copy, please. The copy's good. Just read it.
The White House Reception Committee greeted the Prime Rib Roast Minister, and I do the cha-cha like a sissy girl. I like a do da cha-cha.
So this was the typical Trumpian speech with all of its bravado and falsehood. We broke down 18 of the most serious lies in this 18-minute address. There were a lot of others, so it was not an easy decision to pick which ones. But let's start out with some of the most serious and most obvious. Number one, inflation is stopped.
Inflation is stopped.
False. Inflation has not been stopped. Inflation is roughly at the same point, around 3% it was on the day that Trump took office. So much for his promise to stop inflation on day one. Number two is Trump's claim that inflation was the worst ever when he took office.
When I took office, inflation was the worst in 48 years, and some would say in the history of our country.
But that, of course, is false. When he took office, inflation was about 3%. It was much higher in the 1970s and 1980s. Number three, that he's bringing down prices and bringing them down fast.
I am bringing those high prices down and bringing them down very fast.
Actually, many prices, including many grocery prices, most categories of groceries, are up, not down. And the same is true about so many other products that Americans rely on. Number four, Trump claims to have brought down prescription prices by 400%, 500%, 600%.
To slash prices on drugs and pharmaceuticals by as much as 400, 500, and even 600%.
Need I say more about the falsehood of this, considering that, well, if you bring down prices 100%, you brought them down to zero. So unless you're getting paid to pick up your prescription drugs, I don't think he's brought them down 400, 500, or 600%. Number five, the price of a turkey was down 33% since Joe Biden.
The price of a Thanksgiving turkey was down 33% compared to the Biden last year.
Actually, the price of a wholesale turkey is up by 75 cents per pound. Number six, everything else, all these other prices are coming down.
The price of eggs is down 82% since March, and everything else is falling rapidly.
No, actually, housing prices are up, grocery prices are up, car prices are up, even the price of Donald Trump's ballroom is up. It's gone from $250 million to $400 million. Number seven, the president claims that he has received $18 trillion in new investment into the United States.
I've secured a record-breaking $18 trillion of investment into the United States, which means jobs, wage increases, growth.
Well, his own website makes clear that's false. His website claims that they've secured $9.6 trillion in investment. Well, even that is probably bogus, because about half of that are ambiguous claims of, promises of, hopes of investment from other countries. Number 8, the president claims to have given the largest tax cut in American history.
Next year, you will also see the results of the largest tax cuts in American history.
Well, first of all, the tax cut the Republicans passed basically benefits very wealthy people and large corporations. But number 2, it isn't the largest tax cut in history. That was under Ronald Reagan in 1981. Number 9, Trump claimed that as a result of his big ugly bill that seniors don't have to pay tax on Social Security.
We wrapped 12 different bills up into one beautiful bill. That includes no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security for our great seniors.
That's simply not true. His big ugly bill did no such thing. In fact, many seniors, millions of seniors, pay tax on Social Security, and the deduction he's talking about expires in 2028 and doesn't cover a lot of Social Security recipients. Number 10, the president claimed that crime was at record levels in the tenure of his predecessor.
Crime at record levels.
Actually, crime was coming down in 2024 before Donald Trump took office, and the crime rates were much higher in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Number 11, the president claimed that in the Biden administration, the words law enforcement were somehow prohibited.
With law enforcement and words such as that just absolutely forbidden.
That's, of course, a farce. In fact, the Biden administration invested about $15 billion in law enforcement and in violence and community-based prevention, something that the Trump administration has been cutting. Number 12, the president claimed that we were being invaded by an army of 25 million people.
Our country was being invaded by an army of 25 million people.
Well, I'm not sure where to begin with that one. There was no army invading us, and it certainly wasn't 25 million people. That's just a number pulled out of, well, wherever Trump pulled it out of. Number 13, Trump claims to have solved or stopped 8 wars in his 10 months in office.
I've restored American strength, settled 8 wars in 10 months.
Well, that 8 that he includes lists wars that are still going on. It lists wars that were not in fact wars. It lists wars that where the violence has resumed once again. So that number is a pure fiction, but it is a pure fiction designed, I guess, to earn him some kind of a Nobel Peace Prize. Apparently he's not particularly satisfied with the FIFA Soccer Peace Prize. Number 14, the president claims to have destroyed the Iranian nuclear threat.
Destroyed the Iran nuclear threat.
Yes, the Trump administration bombed some of Iran's nuclear facilities. What happened to all the enriched uranium? What is their capacity and timeline to reconstitute their nuclear program? And much as I wish it were the case, I don't think anyone believes the Iranian nuclear program was obliterated for all time, as the president appears to claim. Number 15, the president claims that he is standing up to powerful interests to reduce the cost of prescription drugs.
In addition, I'm doing what no politician of either party has ever done, standing up to the special interests to dramatically reduce the price of prescription drugs. I negotiated directly with the drug companies and foreign nations which were taking advantage of our country for many decades.
Sadly, what Republicans have tried to do is reverse progress we made in the Biden administration by letting the government negotiate down the cost of certain medication. That is a practice the Trump administration has vigorously opposed. Number 16, the president repeats his oft-stated falsehood that somehow the tariffs he has imposed are being paid by other countries when they're being paid, well, by you.
And I used the threat of tariffs to get foreign countries who would never have done it to pay the cost of this giant dollar reduction.
Average American families are going to expect to pay $1,200 or $1,300 just this year alone in the Trump tariff tax. Number 17, the president claims against all logic and all reason and all of his actions that somehow Democrats are pushing to increase people's health care premiums.
And you see that now in the steep increase in premiums being demanded by the Democrats, and they are demanding those increases, and it's their fault. It is not the Republicans' fault.
This is so patently false. Of course, it was the president and Republicans in Congress who took the money out of the healthcare system in their big ugly bill and gave it in a tax break to big corporations and wealthy people, who took away those tax credits from the Affordable Care Act that have pushed up premiums by double, and that have also cut Medicaid drastically. That's going to result in the closure of many hospitals. This is Trump and the Republicans They know they own it, despite Trump's yelling to the contrary. Number 18, the president claims the Affordable Care Act was produced to make insurance companies rich.
The current Unaffordable Care Act was created to make insurance companies rich.
No, the Affordable Care Act was designed to help millions of people access health care, and it was successful. It brought millions of people into the healthcare system, millions who are now poised to lose their health care coverage because of Donald Trump. So that was 18 lies in 18 minutes. Of course, there were many more. Here was one of Donald Trump's conclusory statements.
1 year ago, our country was dead. We were absolutely dead. Our country was ready to fail, totally failed. Now, we're the hottest country anywhere in the world.
No, the country wasn't dead before he took office. And as for our being the hottest country in the world, it is true that Americans are feeling the heat, but I don't think it's the kind of heat that Donald Trump is talking about. It's the kind of heat you feel during summer when you can't afford air conditioning. It's the kind of heat you feel when you're unable to pay your rent or mortgage. It's the kind of heat you feel when you're not sure if you can provide health care for your kids. That kind of heat the American people are all feeling. And if Donald Trump believed that his broadcast last night was going to persuade Americans that the economy is better than they think it is, that they don't have it so difficult, that if they just wouldn't buy so many dolls, they would be fine, I don't think it was successful. I don't think Americans got that message from his broadcast last night. In fact, I think when the president was making all these false claims, this is what the American people really heard. So thanks for watching tonight's video. We started doing these nightly videos as a way of identifying something really important that happened today or this week, what we should make of it, and how we can fight back. As you can see, I like to include movie clips. If you have any suggestions for other movie clips I should include in future videos, please share them with us. And thank you for following along.